Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Midway in 0.8.0.3. This is the hotfix that just went live, and it has a bunch of changes. I'm going to go through them and show you, honestly, a outstanding game. This ended up being like a incredibly close game that had a lot of back and forth, and hopefully you enjoy that. So, you might have woken up today to a brand new patch, and the patch is 0.8.0.3. This is introducing some adjustments to the way the attack aircraft work, the fighter consumable, and there was an individual balance to the premium aircraft carrier Enterprise. Now, I didn't play Enterprise, honestly, because I didn't know enough about the Enterprise to compare and contrast. I chose the Midway. They've nerfed the torpedo systems. They do about 1,000 damage less per torpedo. And also, the attack squadron, it's very inaccurate if you're maneuvering. Now, I tried to initially spot the enemy team. I did exactly as I did prior to the hotfix. The hotfix introduced a visibility improvement for ships via air, so that's why it's a little bit less obvious exactly who's on the enemy team. It required more attention from my ship if I wanted to go gather that information. So I'm already noticing, since the hotfix, the need for a little bit more commitment to spotting those DDs and a little bit more commitment to spotting the entire enemy team. But clearly we found a Khabarovsk, and this guy is completely isolated going in, and I aimed where his ship momentum was if he wasn't turning. Unfortunately, his turn pulled him away from that. But this Kaba, completely out in the open, very vulnerable. Obviously, I want my teammates on this flank to assist. Taking a point, this is suicidal for him. So this is exactly what I need to do, is keep up the harassment. And, okay, did okay. A little bit of chip damage, not so bad. So I am using the Tiny Tims. The Tiny Tims advantage, especially against a target like the Khabarovsk, is if it hits the 50mm side skirt, or the side profile of the Khabarovsk, it's not going to fail to penetrate. The other attack rockets available to the Midway will, and they will fail to penetrate against a lot of different targets. So this is already a nice experience for me. Obviously, I would like to do more damage, and I feel the pressure. Look at the rest of the map. B point, C point, completely captured, and we've only done 90%, 10% to this ship. He still has 90% of his life. Just knocked out one of his torpedo tubes, and he's a Kaba that doesn't have smoke. This is just a suicidal situation. You're basically relying on the enemy not doing their job, and I am definitely going to try and do my job, taking out isolated, free, easy targets. I don't know where those shells went. Maybe they just went through in between those smokestacks. I felt like the aim was a lot better than that, but yeah. And this guy's like, happy? Are you happy? Actually, I am happy, because we are holding a point contested versus the enemy's 2 to 3 base advantage already. So yes, I'm very happy, and I'm especially happy with that 5,300. But we're going to continuously scramble this. Honestly, my GK, my North Carolina, my Moskva, they don't have line of sight to knock out the Kaba. The only person that would have the line of sight is a Benson, who is dangerously overextended at B point. If an enemy aircraft carrier were to fly over, you would have been done. Now, the fighter consumable has changed. It has a little bit larger aura of influence, and it scrambles quicker. You can't just, lightly tap the aura of fighter and completely negate that it will scramble towards you. If you enter their zone of control, and it's within a reasonable amount of time of it existing, 3 to 5 seconds, that fighter is on you. And it's a lot more brutal. There are 7 aircraft in the fighter squadron, and oh my gosh, so painfully slow killing this guy. Can I just get a rocket to RNG into his hull? I'm hoping that this will set up the nice attack run. I've wasted so much time working on this target, but I'm the only one who can really stop him right now. So we aim, and are you kidding me? Of course we don't finish him off. Of course we're going to have to scramble another one. And we're already behind. We're already 2 ships behind. 3 ships behind. Sorry. I misspoke there. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good at all. And, you know, it's one of the things that the carrier is going to have to make a choice. Either I finish off a DD over here, I finish off a DD over there. Friendly GK finally finished off the target. He finally got angle, thank God. And then I'm like, God, I got to get to the other side of the map. This has been unrelenting free attacking, and I don't want to continue that. Plus, where's the Benson? How did the Benson die? And, oh, we run into the gearing, and this is exactly what they were hoping for. Because with the improved air detectability of the gearing, it's probably in the realm of 3 to 2.9. So I have to be even closer to a gearing if he's having his AA turned off. And then he can turn his defensive AA right on and punish me hard. So I'm just going to try to get a little bit of damage before... Ooh, actually, that was a great amount of damage. Anytime I can do 5,300, I'm happy. And friendlies are helping out. He still has defensive AA. I want to get one more attack run. Get it on him. Another huge gather. We've done 10k on this gearing, and it's basically night and day compared to the enemy Khabarovsk. It was in the lifespan of a single squadron. We were able to contribute to his demise. But we're still 5 ships to 2, and the only 2 ships that have been knocked out are ships that I have contributed to. Kind of looks like the GK's firing on me. But we're okay. And at this point in the game, I feel so much pressure. You know, I've got to get on the map, and I've got to contribute more than I am. And honestly, I'm contributing a lot. We prevented A, we got the B, the enemy gearing. We spotted him as he was moving to maybe an attack position against my ships and also mine. It was a perfect situation for me. Caught him right out in the open, and honestly, I don't think he had smoke. So he was just a goner. And I had to do exactly what ended up happening, land those shots and contribute. Enemy GK sort of angling on the side of the map. I am looking to finish him off so I can guarantee that this is a safe area from my Midway. We could push forward, capture A, and then we can also capture B, hopefully, and maybe work on the enemies from an A-B strat. I was trying to contribute, but my teammates already did a great job. And that's 3 ships defeated. Make sure that all 3 enemy ships that have been defeated are because of this flank. The other flank has not contributed at all. But that's okay, because we're still in the game. The game has not ended, so therefore we still have a chance. And I'm going to try and contribute. So, I've got my attack squadron, and I'm trying to get over to the other side of the map. Note that the enemy is pretty bunched up. Now, this patch did not include sort of the multiplier protection for grouped up ships. That is coming down the road with the CV rework roadmap that they just posted. But this includes the fighter consumable change, the the air detectability change. And both of those together, honestly, I feel like I have to be just a little more extended out. And whoa, look at what we captured. Come on, get this guy aimed true. It looks good. We only had one disperse into a ship before he used his smoke. And oh no, now he's going to sit in his smoke. And now I'm not going to be able to do anything. My teammates are trying to retreat off this. I see that there's an attack squadron behind me, so I drop my fighter, and immediately he turns away. It is very apparent that the fighter wants to engage very quickly. I mean, very, very quickly. So it's definitely more useful to assist. It still has that weird feeling where there's still time to react, and I kind of wish that the animation itself would do a obvious animation that's telling me that the fighter is still not available to target. You know, maybe instead of rotating around or going into a turn, it is merely like flying into the area and dropping down or something. Something that just completely tell me, maybe it starts at a different altitude. I don't know, just something to tell me that it's deactivated and then activated. Because the window is definitely smaller, but I can't tell you exactly how small. But we got teammates who are trying to escape. We got an enemy daring that's keeping the enemy spotted. and I have scrambled my dive bombers. Now, I personally suck at dive bombers. I need to get a lot better. Ooh, we've got an enemy. But dive bombers are the highest damage output squadron in the game, bar none, for any and all. And since it's the Midway, it's high explosive, it's going to do mega damage against anyone, and I want to go after the prize. This enemy, Harugumo. He's actually outside of his smoke, so I'm committed to this. This is way overextension, but I'm trying to get the kill, which, once again, the GK takes from out from under me, but we at least spotted him, made sure he was spotted until he died, and oh my god, just the AA is still brutal. This is... Remember, this is before they have reduced the overall effectiveness slightly. So the 3, 4, 5 enemy ships that I just flew through, it was like 3, 4, 5 times the AA DPS. Clearly just wiped out. But we've got to scramble another squadron. You know, in hindsight, I threw a lot of dive bomb aircraft away for not a lot of gain. If I would have gotten a kill, maybe, but I didn't. So... gotta scramble another squadron, because I can't use my dive, even though dive bomb against this Montana in this position would honestly be outstanding. That's okay. We're just gonna have our torpedo to the north, and we're gonna aim perpendicular to his path, so we can have as much torpedo hits as possible. If we cause a flood, you know, we cause a flood. If we don't, whatever. I'm trying to get the aim to settle down. It just doesn't want to settle down. But I think there is a possible torpedo or two that will make contact with the enemy ship. I'm fine with that. I'm trying to at least avoid all the AA damage for free. And I should have definitely made more use of the heal consumable that's available to the torpedoes. I just took too much damage there. I really should have 2 or 3 extra aircraft alive. And yep, see the enemy? He's trying to protect the Montana. Now, the larger the aura that is provided, 3.5 kilometers, the harder it is for me to find an area where I won't automatically be engaged on. But I think we did. I think we did find a little window where the torpedoes will make contact, and he is, I think he's still, yeah, he's still flooding out. So he's basically dead. And we need the kill because, oh my god, we're barely in this game. Even now, we've had so much effort to just stay even, not even even, honestly, just barely stay alive. We're just on the fringe of death here, but it's okay. Dive bomb moving in position, and we're gonna just do work against this GK. First dive bomb does, 7,300, causes a fire. Could be better. We'll rotate back around and we'll work on them again. And once again, gonna aim up, lead the target a little bit, and wait for the aim to settle down. Now, I'm going to try and aim for the nose since I don't have any fires there. And we get 12,000. 2 more fires. That's 3 fires. He's got to put them out, otherwise he's going to take damage. And he absolutely has, because the damage isn't ticking. So I'm just going to rotate around once again, sort of trying to stall the time that it takes me to actually get in position. So there is a fire that will stick eventually. And once again, aim again, go center. Looks like the Des Moines was desperately trying to move into range for his defensive fire. Clearly, it was just a little bit too slow because we set the guy on fire, plus friendlies as well. He's going to burn down and die. And that is, once again, another ship down. We're still in this, people. We're only down by 300 points. And we can do this. We can absolutely do this. So, I am moving. I put my fighter in a position that sort of predicts the friendly paths, so the only option the enemy has is to fly basically right over him. In response, he uses his fighter, and I engage the Des Moines a little too early. It was near the tail end of that defensive fire. But I got a little bit too close. I actually caught the fighter, and I'm going to be dead, so I'm just going to try and commit to dropping 1 more torpedo load somewhere, and then, obviously, scramble another squadron. We did cause a flood, so that's good. That means that damage control will be used. Since damage control will be used, he will be vulnerable to a fire or a flood. My friendly North Carolina and my Muscovy don't really have the angle quite yet. This Des Moines, I kind of want to force him to have to move, to maneuver, to avoid just easy 10k damage. I mean, it's the dive bomber is really easily 10k damage. So fly over the target. We get just amazing RNG at the full height. 3 of them disperse right into him. He takes a big damaging shot. North Carolina dies, unfortunately, but the Des Moines dies as well. So nothing lost, nothing gained. We're still in it, and this enemy Yamato is 50% life. He has scrambled a fighter, but I have no choice. We have to try and attack, because if we don't, there's really no chance. We've got to try and help our teammate turn this into a 1 versus 1. And his fighter's just eating me up. I'm trying to get... We do get two dive bomb to make contact, but it is just absolutely wiped out my entire dive bomb contingency. Ooh, friendly Yamato landed a big shot, and boy is the enemy Yamato very disappointed in that. He's like, how dare you? And there was 2. Friendly Moskva attempting to capture B. I'm going to use my fighter to disengage the enemy torpedo bomber. He basically has to go after someone else. It's going to take him too long to stop and to rotate around, so he's going to transition over to the Yamato, who, for me, I was terrified that the North Carolina wanted to ram the Yamato. If the North Carolina rams the Yamato, that will be a major gain, because at this point, my Yamato has survived against the enemy's primary flank and gotten 2 kills. He's a great player. I want to try and keep that alive. And I'm going to have a brain fart right here, and it's, oh! This isn't a dive bomber. This is an attack rocket squadron. Clearly, you don't want to enter the aim state too close to the enemy. Otherwise, you won't be able to get any. So I just drop it in the water. It keeps me over the target too long. I'm going to re-engage. I'm looking to try and get another fire on the middle of his ship, since he's got one on his butt. We do get a fire on the midship. That's 2 fires. And, of course, the Tiny Tims. It's very easy to do consistent damage against battleships. Fire. Let's check the fire. He did put out the fire, but oh, he took about 20,000 damage. And I see that there's a enemy fighter that's scrambled overhead. I don't know that I have a chance of engaging without incurring losses, so I just recall the aircraft. And the friendly Yamato has a health advantage. Plus, the Moskva's also visible. They should eat this guy up, and yeah, they do. Awesome. So 2 kills for me, 3 kills for the Yamato, and 2 kills for the Moskva. And it honestly probably would have been even more than 2 kills for me. There was 2 or 3 barely alive targets that were finished off by someone else. So, we are going to attempt to try and find the Hakuto. The Moskva clearly going for C point, friendly Yamato clearly the primary target. So my intention, spot the target, the enemy aircraft carrier, force a little bit more actions for him. I'm going to leave a fighter outside of his AA range, but inside of his ship air surface detectability. Ship air surface. His air detectability, it's about, I want to leave it about 7 to 8 kilometers away from him. Force him to have to sail into it and be spotted. This will allow me to engage the target, but also have my friendlies have him spotted, even if I have to disengage. Which we all know we're going to have to disengage because the first fighter group is absolutely going to wipe us out. That's one of the compromises that I choose to make. I've chosen to give my teammates a forcibly spotted target versus trying to deal with the fighter directly overhead, the Hakuto. It's just a lot harder. And note what the enemy has done. He has deliberately, I think he did this, he deliberately flew through the fighter consumable to force it to be used to kill off the enemy torpedo squadron in an attempt to deny the line of sight for another 30 seconds. That is an awesome, outstanding play, but unfortunately for him, I have my dive bombers and they still have a fighter. So either way, you're going to die. And at this stage of the game, we have come back. We have brought the game 100% back. Now it's all up to either my dive bomb or a friendly landing his shot to finish off the target. And we're already being scrambled on by the enemy. And yes, friendly Yamato finishes off the target. And that's the game. That felt pretty outstanding. The fighter definitely felt a little bit more usable. It still spotted a little bit too much in my opinion, but the initial spot was not quite as effective as it was prior to the buff to air detectability. That friendly Yamato, 3200, awesome. I only did 2600 base XP. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I did. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.